overseas. I done lost too many, I'm feeling numb, ain't no hurting me. Project nigga living lavish, mama say she proud of me. Meet me in the international smoke, I'm eating lobster. Table full of bossa, waitress thinking we some monster. Sipping to my casa, made me turn into a monster. Real player shit, I bet my wrist is like agua.
Welcome back to another episode of Make Some Shape, man. And y'all see, I got a special guest. You see my light-skinned Drake ass nigga. You feel me? It's like, nah, let me introduce. You know I like to introduce my guests, so check this out. Coastal grad with 2 degrees, right? Then a master's in nuclear engineering, right? That's not it, though. He's a United States naval officer. Look at him now. He feeling himself, right? Owner of Byrd experiences, physicist, cryptologist, barber. Man, y'all get the picture, right? Y'all get the picture. You see, you do a little bit of everything, man. This is my guy from Gaffney, SC, Marquel Byrd. What's up, bro? Marquel Byrd.
All right, we good.
You good? You straight?
Yeah, I'm chilling, bro. I appreciate the opportunity. Appreciate you coming up here and
yeah, bro. I appreciate you having me on
my story.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait, bro. This is probably gonna be one of my favorite ones because I've been waiting for this. So he's like the definition to make some shit, y'all. Y'all got to hear this, like. But anyways, this is how I like to get into my interviews, right? My first question is always, when you were a little kid, like young, what was your dream growing up?
Honestly, we're gonna tell the truth. It's crazy. Like me and one of my best friends growing up, we were just thinking like, hopefully we make it to 21. Damn. I remember the story like it was yesterday. Like literally, one of my best friends, Michael Davidson, we was outside, limestone courts. Rent's about $8 a month. You know, on food stamps. My mom was making about $7.50 an hour. Like 9 out of 10, I didn't have food at home. You know what I mean? We was going to the free, lunches and dinners at churches, just cutting up, just getting by. But literally, I remember this like it's yesterday. Like we were outside talking at the swings, and he was just like, "Yo, I don't think I'm gonna hit 21." And I said, "Shit, me neither."
For real?
For real.
Dang, that's crazy. Ryan never thought like. So you really have no dream, like you was just like, man, I'm gonna make it to 21.
I didn't have any role models growing up. I didn't have any aspirations. Like literally, I was just influenced by everything that was around me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Selling drugs, cars, a couple of little, females walking around, so forth. But it was just like I never really had any big dreams because I never left, Pittsburgh and Gaffney and went anywhere else between those 2 places.
That's tough. I'm not gonna lie to you, but man, I want to get into it. So okay. Young Byrd, right? You went to middle school, then you got to high school, right? Mm-hmm. In high school, what was like your focus? For people like black people, mostly it's sports. You know what I'm saying? Like I was basketball, I was all focused on sports. What was your focus in high school since you was in that mindset type?
So actually, luckily in middle school, I ended up finding a boxing academy. So it was Tuck Swingers Boxing Academy.
You used to box?
Yeah, I boxed for 12 years. So long story short, I used to have like anger management problems. Used to get into a lot of fights and so forth. Got expelled a few times. Kicked out of school. But I had to figure out a way to handle my aggression. So I put that into boxing.
For sure.
So that was kind of, I would say, my first actual role model. He wasn't black, so he was an older white man. And he was just one of the few people that actually believed in me in something. So I would say one of my dreams would be become a professional boxer. But after 120 bouts, a lot of crazy stuff, I ended up not going forward with it. But
that's crazy. So when you got into the gym, it was just like, okay, I want to get into the gym, or he brought you into the gym, or you was just like, I want to box?
Nah, we were at the Boys and Girls Club. So I think that was probably one of the main factors in my life. Growing up, that was one of the places that actually fed us, that, got us book bags, supplies for school and so forth.
It's crazy.
Yeah, there was this lady called Miss Katie, a white woman, but she ensured that she had college tutors come in and helping us with our math and physics and whatever, English. And actually, they were the ones that helped me with my FAFSA because, my mom didn't help me with any of that.
Dang.
So I actually ended up learning how to do my FAFSA on myself and applying, and she and the Boys and Girls Club was the one that helped me do that. So with the boxing, she saw that a lot of us were angry, always fighting. So she was just like, why don't you actually do it, for real?
Yeah.
So she ended up giving the boxing coach the entire back, storage space. He ended up putting a ring in there all off his own dime.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, older white man, just, in the hood. And then taught all of us how to box, and we was in there fighting every day.
Dang, shout out to him, bro. That's tough. I ain't gonna lie to you.
He definitely changed my life.
That's crazy. All right, so you get to high school. I think I read 14 and 16. You might have been homeless at one point. Can you talk a little bit about that? What was your mindset then? Because it's hard to get out that state for sure.
So long story short, I was homeless a lot growing up. My mom, she had a few things that she was dealing with between men, drugs, other stuff like that. So we were moving around, getting evicted. And just literally one time it was like me, her, my little brother, our dog, in a Honda.
Yeah.
Like literally like during the winter in Pittsburgh. Crazy, yeah. So I was in and out of like, she would end up being in the car most of the time, and then she would drop us off with some of her friends or some family and stuff like that. But after a while, staying with somebody for free, you know what I mean? They weren't going for that. So
okay, hold on. Because I don't really, like I hear people say, boom, they were staying in the Honda, but how is it actually, I always want to ask this, bro, like, when you staying in the Honda, how you sleeping? Like, you sleeping in the car, like y'all sleeping in the back seat, y'all sleeping, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it was my little brother and the dog in the back. It was me and my mom in the front seat. That's kind of how it was. So we would find like safe parking lots and so forth like that.
That's crazy. Bro.
Yeah.
That's tough though. Like, and to see you here now is real tough, but we're gonna get there. But check this out. So, homeless. So how'd you get out of that mindset? Like, I don't want to be homeless no more. Like, what was your mindset like getting out of that? Because some people stay in that state, and then there's some people that can conquer that state. So what was your mindset like, man, I can't be homeless no more? How'd you get out of that?
So literally what it was just like, yo, like me and my mom would get into fights and so forth because she would end up picking like men over me, picking not coming home, like just talking to me type of way, like literally trying to like physically abuse me and stuff like that because she was going through things at the time.
For sure.
So I was just like, yo, honestly, like it has to be something better than this. So she ended up kicking me out again, like every week. It would be my fault. So I ended up getting kicked out. But I ended up getting kicked out at like 13. And I was like, fuck it. Like, there's really nothing there. Because at the crib I was living at, all I had was, like I said, it's $8 a month. It's roaches everywhere.
Dang.
Like, it's hot as fuck because we got, we don't have AC.
Yeah.
The shower sometimes don't work. So we have to wash up in the sink. I was like, bro, fuck this. Like, at this point, I could find something better than this myself.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So at 13, I ended up getting kicked out and said, fuck it. Like, ended up asking one of my friends, can I live with him? It was, and we just went from there. So I went from living with some of my friends to figuring out how to make money, hustling, doing different things
So
that I shouldn't be doing. And then ended up finding like a little apartment and so forth myself at like 15.
listen, let me ask you this. I don't know if you can put this on there, but I know you say you used to like flip dogs, right?
Yeah. Used to flip everything.
How you even flip dogs, bro? Can you explain to me just a little bit, bro? How you even do that, bro?
All right, so long story short. People be selling dogs. We see a dog that's pregnant, whatever. And like people just love puppies. So what it is, we see a pregnant dog on somebody's doorstep. We see a pregnant dog outside, or we go on Craigslist and see a pregnant dog. We'd end up going and stealing it, 9 out of 10. Or we would ask them how much how much they're selling the puppies for. So if they have a litter of 10 and they're selling them for 150, 200 a piece, we'd be like, yeah, well, let us buy all 10 for 100 a pop. You know what I mean?
Dang.
And then what we would do was we would go to Tractor Supply, we'd get their shots, and then we'd take pictures of their dogs and put it on social media and so forth.
Dang,
so at that point, we sell the dogs $300-$400 a piece.
Listen, that's a real hustle. Y'all hear that? That's a real hustle. I ain't never heard that before. But no, all right. So check this out. You're in high school, right? What made you even like want to think about college? Like, who made you go to college? Was it your mom, or was it like somebody influenced you, or you were just like, man, I need to go to college. That's the next step.
So what ended up happening was, like I said, one of my best friends, Michael Davidson, he was actually like getting into a gang and so forth. I was, getting into one as well. But what he had to do was rob a store. And I was doing something that night. So, I could have been with him, but he literally just left me like, yo, I'm going to go hit this lick real quick, whatever.
Yeah.
So, all right, bet. Like, I need some shoes. I gave him some shoes. I was doing some other shit. So, long story short, before I know it, like, all my friends calling me, blowing me up, like, what's going on? He ended up going in there, sticking it up. And then the man was, like, over that shit. Because he had been robbed a few times. Like, this was a store everybody had to lick on. Like, you know what I mean? So, long story short, he ended up, give him the money, he turned around and start shooting him in the back. Yeah, and I'm 15 at this point. So he done ran down the street, literally at my homeboy crib, bleeding out. And then from there, I was just like, yo, like I had like maybe a 1.5 GPA into my 10th grade year.
What?
It had been expelled already. And I was just like, yo, like at this point, it has to be something better than this. You know what I mean? And everybody was talking about college. Shit, I never even knew what the fuck college was. You know what I mean? So, but I was just like, all right, if it can get me out the city, it must be the best option because I just need to get away from here.
For sure.
So I ended up applying to multiple colleges, like, and going into my 12th grade year. But after that instance, what I did was I was just like, yo, I need to get my fucking GPA up.
Oh, I was about to say, yeah.
So I ended up like I've always been smart, but
Sure.
more smart, like less smart and more driven because I didn't have shit to fall back on.
I feel that.
So what I ended up doing was sitting in front of class. You know what I mean? Like literally staying after school, like going before school, studying all the time, and literally switched it from like a 1.5 to almost like a 3.5.
So it was just like that thing that 15 when nobody got shot in the back. You was like, man, something got to work.
Yeah, because that was the friend I was talking about that said he wasn't making it to 21.
Dang.
Yeah, he made it to 15.
This world's sick, boy. I swear. But anyway, so okay. You applied to all these colleges. Was Coastal the first one to accept you, or was it?
Nah, what ended up happening is I didn't get accepted to a lot of colleges because I had a bad track record. Literally, like fucking up in high school and middle school, all that. Like you know how they're just like, oh, like they don't check. Like, I was a fuck up. So I didn't get into Clemson. I didn't get into USC. I ended up almost scoring like a perfect SAT score.
Oh, for real?
Right, but I took it like 10 times.
Oh, okay. That's
because
cool.
I met somebody. They're like, yo, like you can get paid if you have a high SAT score. So I took it like 10 times.
Dang. So, like, was your last time the highest, or did?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So what ended up happening was Coastal ended up, taking me on, like giving me a chance.
Yeah.
They had just started the engineering and physics department, and they were just like, yo, like you come here for that. Bro, I never took anything past Algebra 1 in high school.
So they was like, you can come here for physics. You was like, okay. It wasn't like, because I remember you was like, man, I'm trying to get the highest fan. You feel me?
So what ended up happening was like the career fair. It was somebody that came up. I think it was Dr. Connor. He was like ahead of the physics department, so he was brand new.
Yeah.
So they were trying to recruit minority talent and so forth like that.
Sure.
So long story short, they were just like, yo, like I asked them, I said, what major do you have that's gonna make me the most money?
Yeah.
And they were just like, either being a physicist or being an engineer. And I said, okay, shit, I want to do both. And they were just like, what you mean?
Yeah,
I was like, I want to do both because it's giving me a better chance. They said, you want a dual degree?
Sure.
Like, yeah.
Dang. No, I would have never thought like.
And that was it. Literally, like into my freshman year, never took physics, never took any engineering, never took anything past Calc 1. I literally skipped geometry, trig. I went straight. I didn't take Algebra 2.
Yeah.
I went straight into Calculus 1, Physics 111, Engineering 112, Chemistry.
Golly.
And that was my freshman fall course.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's crazy. So, okay, when you first get to college, though, was it like you first get to class, was it like a shocker? Like, dang, this is harder than I thought? Or you was like...
I was feeling everything. Literally everything. Because, like, we just got to college. I was living in UP, like, right by the basketball court.
Yep.
Bruh. So
crazy.
it was just crazy. Like, my first few days, I met the basketball team. So we was out every night.
Yep.
My first, like, when it finally hit me, my first, like, testing cycle, I made, like, a 25
Dang.
on my first physics like test, and in calculus I made like a 40. Like chemistry, I made like a 10. So what ended up happening was I said, bro, I can't do this shit. I'm gonna get kicked out.
For sure.
So talk to my teachers like, yo, like your final replace your lowest test grade. I was like, all right, bet. So after that point, I really buckled down. I ended up still failing like 2 classes my first fall. But after that,
no more.
no, straight A's and B's.
So, but listen though, you might have been locked in, but you was still living it. Like,
Nah.
you was still, you was living that life.
Nah, I figured it out. But my schedule was Sunday in the library from 5 to 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Until Thursday. So I would literally be in the library every day. I would hoop. Like y'all would see me hooping.
Yeah, for sure.
Whenever we can. We used to hoop between lunch or hoop like 3 to 4. But I would go in there and hoop like 2 to 4 o'clock, go home, take a shower, go back to Sino, eat, and I'm in the library locked in until 12 o'clock. And that was Sunday through Thursday. So Friday and Saturday I would turn up, and Thursday after 12, I would go to the library dressed to go to Tongi's. Yeah.
That's crazy. Listen, I just thought you was just like the dress. I ain't gonna lie, I seen you in the library a few times, like fresh though, but I didn't know that was the case. That's funny.
Yeah.
But check this out. So from there, what made you want to join the military?
So honestly, I had no intentions, none at all.
Really?
But what ended up happening was how you said, the barbershop shit. I ended up meeting somebody, right, that he was cutting our hair our freshman year.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, how much money you make? And he was just like, about 15 a cut. So I started doing the math. All right, there was 20 people in there, right? So there's 20 people in there, and I was just like, all right, 15 times 20. All right, it's like, that's almost like $200 in a day.
That's a fact.
In a day. And, we're making $7.50 an hour I'm like, I'm making $200 a week, working 20 hours. No, I'm not doing this. So long story short,
okay.
Long story short, I was like, all right, he's cutting Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. He's making almost like $600 a week.
Facts.
So I put that in my mind, and I was just like, all right, this is a hustle.
Facts.
So what I ended up doing was I went to a barber shop, and I was like, yo, like, I really want to learn how to cut hair. Literally, like, I was talking to him. Every time I go in there, I want to learn how to cut hair. I want to learn. And finally, the barber, after getting on his fucking nerves, he was like, all right, bet. You start on Monday.
Bet.
So he taught me on-the-job training. I had to, like, get all my stuff together, $800 for my license, whatever. And then I was instead of, going and chilling all the time, my sophomore year, I went to the barber shop and I was learning how to cut hair. And then bam, I ended up getting straight at it. You saw me at Ernie's shop. Yeah. He was cutting $25, $30 a head.
Dang.
So what ended up happening was, after I graduated from Coastal, I was in the midpoint of getting into USC for grad school.
Sure.
And then I ended up meeting a captain in the United States Navy.
Yeah.
Didn't even know he was a captain. But he was just like, yo, like, I had my physics engineering degree hanging up. He was just like, why the hell you cutting hair? And you a physicist and an engineer. And I was just like, because all these jobs offer me $50,000. I'm making almost $100. Tax free.
Yeah.
Bro, I make almost $2,500 a week. What I look like?
So let me ask you this right quick. Let me go back to the barbering thing. At the beginning of your own barber, everybody got their own barber. When they go there, they go to like that barber. How do you get customers, bro? Like,
literally, it's walk-ins. Like, literally, you get more walk-ins than actual customers. Because you gotta think, when you go to Coastal, you know what I mean? Freshman year, everybody you go and whoever's open. You know what I mean? And then nobody was paying $40 for the cut line. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or for an appointment, because Ernie was charging $40.
Dang.
You know what I mean? So I was charging $20.
So you met some heads up though?
What? Yes. But the crazy part about it is, like how when I first started, it was mannequins. And then after that, it'd be crackheads. I would really cut crackheads for free. And then how I do it was, like, they have long hair or whatever. I start off with, it's a fro. I do a bob, shape up. All right, then I do a temp fade. Like, they be in the chair for like 3 hours. They're not doing shit else. Yeah. But I done did 5 haircuts. I'm like, cause first they had a fro, even it out, shape it up. All right, bet. Now I'm gonna do a temp fade. All right, now I'm gonna do a fade. All right, now I'm gonna do it even all over. Now you're getting a bald head with a razor. Yeah.
That's crazy. So how long did it take you to learn though? From that point on, how long did it take you to start earning money?
Really, we'd be honest, like 6 weeks.
6 weeks?
Yeah, if you think about it, you do something for 21 days, you learn how to do it. But a fade is the same thing. It's hard. Like, people are really, really good at it. But if you're doing something every day, you're gonna get good at it. And I was watching all type of YouTube videos and stuff. Like, literally, I was eat, shit, sleeping, like barbering during the summer, because like that's when I kind of started for real. I started in June. By August, I was like that.
It's crazy though. So it's like you learn. It's like we always say consistency is the epitome of learning. So if you do anything consistently, you can be good at it eventually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so check this out. Okay, you about to go into the military, right? But you're making $100 from barbering. So what made you make that check? Because I know in the military you didn't start out.
All right. So what ended up happening was my mentor, like I said, he was just like, "Yo, I can." Like, I met him at the barbershop. So I met him at the barbershop. He's asking all these questions. Why you barbering, whatever. I can make you $1 million in the military. I said, how? And he was just like, dead ass, I can make you $1 million in the military. He said, in 4 years, I can get you 3 homes. And I said, 3 homes. He said, yes, you'll be in a home next year if you do it. I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. I was like, all right, cool. He said, send me your resume. I sent him my resume. Send me your transcripts. I sent him my transcript. Yeah. And next week, like, honestly, it was just God. He flew me out to San Diego from Myrtle Beach. I wasn't gonna go. Yeah. But everybody I'm talking to, like, if he's gonna fly you out, pay for shit, go.
That's a fact.
So I ended up going, seeing all these successful black people. So I'm part of the National Naval Officers Association for Minorities and Women. So it's called the NNOA, and it's for all minorities, women.
So anybody can get into it.
No, but if you're in the military.
Yeah, if you're in the military.
Everybody there, they were admirals, generals, captains, commanders, literally, and they're telling me like, yo, like, I got 10 houses, I got 6 houses, I got this passive income, I got this. I'm just like, all right, bet. They all clean, like all of them drive a nice ass car. I said, they're not bullshitting. Yeah. So I come back, I said, all right, how am I gonna make $1 million? He sat me down, he was just like, yo, your first year, you have the VA loan, you're gonna buy a crib, you're gonna move people in. Next year, you're gonna refinance it to a conventional loan, get your VA loan back. gonna buy another crib.
Yep.
You're gonna keep your renters there, or you're gonna move your renters with you, and you're gonna rent out the entire property. And literally, I did that twice. So
listen, that's some game, y'all. Y'all better write that down because
literally,
I would have been in the military if I knew.
That's what I'm saying. Like literally, the easiest thing ever. When I tell you, buying a home in the military is easier than buying a car.
You think so?
I promise. It took me sending 4 pay stubs, my orders, and them reviewing my credit. They said, okay, pay this $5,000. Put the $5,000 down. My first house was built in 6 months.
Oh, you built it?
Yeah, I built both my homes. Yeah.
What made you? Why not just buy one though? Why would you want to build it?
So, like my mentor told me, yo, like when you get a new property, you got insurance. You know what I mean? You got a warranty. Yeah. So on every new property, you get a 10-year structural warranty. You get a 2-year, basically bumper to bumper warranty. You get a 5-year appliance warranty. If you buy something that's used, you know what I mean? Now it's also higher closing costs because when you have a new property, new builders typically like give you closing costs.
That's a fact.
When you buy a used property, you have to pay all that money up front. So you end up paying like $30,000. But if you buy a new property, you're putting out $10,000.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you hear this idea, you like, all right, I'm about to see what's going on. Yeah. So that's why you went to the Navy? Because I'm going to the Air Force. But
so what ended up happening, he was Navy, right?
Yeah.
And they just started up cryptologic warfare. Once again, don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah,
but all it was.
To me right quick?
Yeah, so cryptology is basically, radio signals, propagation. We have cybersecurity, defensive cyber operations,
that's what I thought it was.
Satellite operations. We have a lot of different things. Like it's a large field, but all of it's top secret. So I was just like, all right, cool. He was just like, yeah, like if you do this for 4 years, you're gonna get out making at least 150. And I was like, no. He was just like, yeah. He said, but I want you to stay in because I feel like you can do well. You're gonna end up being a general, admiral, whatever. I did my complete best. Like while I was serving, I actually retired this Friday, but I won Military Member of the Year twice.
That's tough.
For all the national security agencies across all 5 sectors across the world. Like I went hard. Ended up becoming a certified chief information officer, so I can oversee all basically cybersecurity oversight infrastructure, like systems for the Department of Defense.
So did this all stem from your childhood though? Like this working hard, this going hard in everything you do as far as barbering, maybe even flipping dogs, like you feel me?
Honestly, like whatever you do in life, I feel like you should do your best. Like if you're not, like you're lying to yourself. Like because literally at night, when you look at yourself in the mirror and you think about your day, that's how I think about like, did I try my fucking best?
Yeah.
If I didn't, you're the only one to blame.
That's a fact though.
Honestly, it's not a fear, but I just don't like being, 1, judged, and 2, I want to be the best person in the room in anything that I'm doing.
That's a fact. Well, because some people say you never want to be like the best person in the room. You always want to learn from people that's higher than you. You know what I mean? So you want to always be the best people. Or are you just saying that from like a confidence perspective? You know what I'm saying? I just want to be the most confident in the room, but I still want to learn from.
Yeah, so I would definitely say I'm the most confident.
Yeah,
Typically, I'm not 9 out of 10. I'm not the smartest person in the room, but guess what? Like that person, I'm outwork them. They're gonna go home at 4 o'clock. I'm going at 5. They're gonna come in at 8. I'm coming in at 7.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And then they're working on their one trade. I'm gonna learn something else. So now I'm more well-rounded. Like I was in school when I got into cryptology. Like I said, they accept 12 people a segment. So that's basically 24 people a year in the whole entire United States. Right?
That's
out of that 24, only about 18 actually make it. And out of those 18, I was in class with somebody from Harvard, from Yale, from Stanford.
Did you ever feel unconfident though in that situation? Would you ever
at that point, I was like, bro, I have nothing else to fall back on. Like, literally, I'm here. This is it. You know what I mean? All I got to do is get past these schooling, pass these tests. I ended up graduating the top 2%. Like with them. The thing is, like, no matter where you go to school at, like, it's all about your work ethic. So that's all it was.
That's a fact. That's a big fact for real. But check this out. I talk to my friends, and we always talk about confidence. Like, where do you get your confidence from? Because we say sometimes it stems from your environment, sometimes you're born with it, or you can get like taught. Like people be like, "Oh man, you're the best," and then you just gain confidence. Where do you think confidence comes from?
I mean, in life, really, how I think about everything is like, like there's wolves and there's sheep. You know what I mean? So like, it's either you're a wolf or a sheep.
So you can't become a wolf?
You can potentially, but typically, I just feel like, like, there's a lot of people, like even when you're growing up, like there's people that you gravitate to and that you listen to, outside playing football, basketball, who's the first person that picks up on the team, whatever. Like it's always just been me. I don't know why, but but what I'm saying is like, yo, like how I think about everything in life, like, yo, like if you don't believe in the thing that you're doing to the fullest extent, then you shouldn't be doing it. Like I believe in myself. If nobody else is gonna believe in me, like even when nobody did, I always believed in myself.
That's
you know
a fact,
what I mean?
though.
So that's just what it is.
That's tough. Listen though, let me tell y'all about Byrd, right? Byrd might not have been the best basketball player, but he was out there confident and talking junk every time he's on the court. That's a fact. But all right, so check this out. You in the military, right? Was your plan at first the 20 years? Or like
No, I was never.
it was never 20 years?
Literally after talking to him and figuring out, yo, like I can make, another 150 when I get out. Why would I stay? Because in the military there's a certain cap. So I would say, like you said, I didn't make 100 the first year. I actually did.
Oh, for real? In the military?
Not through the military, but through my investments in my property and so forth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so literally I got my first home. You know what I mean? I had 2 roommates. Literally, I had roommates move in before I even moved in. I was in one of my schools, like in Florida, when my house got finished. I had 2 lieutenants move in. They were paying my mortgage. So now that was an additional $1,200 a piece a month.
Did you have property managers?
No.
No? Why not?
Yeah, I found them through the military. It's a certain level of trust. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we get paid on the 1st and 15th.
That's
I know
a
the
fact.
money's coming.
That's
I put
a
them
fact.
like I literally got a generic little lease agreement offline, sent it to them, had them sign it. You know
That's
what I mean?
crazy.
We
Yeah.
went from there. So literally, I was charging them about $1,200 a piece a month.
Yeah.
That's $2,400 a month. 24 times 12. You know what I mean? That's what $28,000 extra a year. So my base pay starting off is around like 65. After incentives and bonuses, about 80. So it was another 24. So I was hitting 100 my first year.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
So when did you get your second home? Next year?
literally next year.
And then your third home the next year? Was it year after year?
The third one's coming right now. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like that. Yeah, he's like that. All right, so check this out. When you get out the military, because that's what you're transitioning over now, right? So you got your, I don't know if you want to call it a travel business or what do you want to call it? But,
Yeah, so basically I'm like an event coordinator, but I also do travel.
So, okay, let me talk about that really quick. First off, how'd you even think about starting this? Like, what was your mindset?
Yeah, it's a hustle. So basically I was just like, all right, I like traveling. How can I not pay for the shit?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, like I'm gonna organize the trips. I'm gonna get other people to go with me. So what it started off was like in college, like, we go to homecoming, somewhere else, get
Okay.
hotel rooms.
Yep.
We would go to spring break in Miami, whatever. So I was just like, all right, look, I'm gonna get 6 of my homeboys to go. I'm gonna book the 3 rooms. I'm gonna get all the money from everybody. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna make it to where like, yo, like if it's $1,000 total for the 3 rooms, I'm gonna charge them, basically 1,000 divided by 5 instead of 6. I'm not gonna include myself. So now each of them are paying $200 a piece, and I don't pay shit.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. But I'm just like, somebody has to organize it because
you.
if nobody does, we're not gonna go.
That's a fact.
And somebody has to be trusted with the money. And once again, that was that leadership quality. Like, yo, people trusted me. They know, like, if I say something, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, you
Like,
stand on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand on it. So that's one thing that people can say about me. If I say some shit, I'm gonna do it. So from there, it was small amounts. It's 1,000. Homecoming is $400, $500.
For sure.
And it just became more and more. I'm like, all right, every major holiday, 4th of July, I want to go to Vegas. Never been. I got 12 of my homies to go to Vegas with me, and I'm charging each of them $750 a piece. So that was like my first trip.
Yeah.
So from there, I'm like, all right, bet. I ain't never been out the country. I want to go, got my passport, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna get some homies to go out the country, right?
Yeah.
So my first trip was actually like Tulum, Mexico, large trip, right? Long story short, got like 14 people to go.
So let me ask you this: was it like, man, I want to go to Tulum, or was you like somebody just mentioned it and you was like, let's go to
I
Tulum?
saw it online. Literally,
Saw it
just
online?
saw everything online. Like
Yeah.
I just got back from Singapore. Who would have thought? Like the spot that had 3 buildings with the large yacht across the top. Just went there off a whim because I saw it online. You know what I mean? Went to Bali. I don't know anybody that's ever been to Bali. My age group.
That's a fact.
Thailand, Greece,
Yeah.
Santorini, Athens.
Yeah,
You know
haven't
what I
been.
mean?
Yeah, I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Yeah, so literally it's just like, yo, like I would start, it's a hustle. So I'm like, all right, I want to go here. So I'm gonna get a mansion,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, at this point, and I'm going on this major holiday. And I know people are gonna be off because people are off work for these major holidays. So quarterly, Labor Day, Memorial, 4th of July, around spring break, I always get a mansion somewhere. And I just start, pushing on social media. Yo, I'm gonna figure out, okay, if it's $10,000 for the week for, the yacht, for the transportation, for the mansion, maybe one excursion. All right, it's 10,000 total. All right, I need about at least 6 rooms. There's 12 people, so 10,000. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take one room off, so there's 5, and bam, so I'm gonna do the 10,000 divided by 10 people. So that's about what $1,000 a piece. And I just add a little tax on it. You know what I mean? Because
So that's
now,
okay.
yeah. But literally, like honestly, I didn't really start making money until this year because like when I first started doing it, I only wanted my expenses covered, and I wasn't trying to charge anybody over that. But as I started doing it, it became better. I got into dronography. I got into photography.
Yeah, you be going crazy with the drone. I ain't gonna lie.
So as I started, providing different services, I brought on a team. I got an assistant. I got a videographer. I got a chef. Like now I'm traveling and providing a service for people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's top tier, 5-star.
Yeah.
So at that point, it was just like, yo, I got to charge you more. So at this point, like this summer, my business, like, and honestly, like I didn't even make a website yet. It's literally just off of social media.
Are you going to though? Is that the plan?
I don't know because it's getting kind of crazy. So I'm thinking like it's not something I want to do the rest of my life. I want to do it quarterly. But like just this summer alone, I was like, let me see where I can take it. Like we really ran it up $75,000 in profit.
God,
Because
so this is how I start, bro. It's like that's crazy though, bro. Like
we had 28 trips or something.
28?
28. So now it's to the point now, like I said, there's sheep and wolves. People would see me go to Greece and they want me to plan their Greece trip. People would see me go to Cartagena and I mean, okay, they were lit. We want to do the same thing you did. So I would literally set up their entire trip, set up the payment plan, add the little 15 or 20% tax on it. I'm getting paid. I was in Greece and I had a trip that was going on in Cartagena. I had a trip that was going on in Tulum. I had a trip that was going on in Puerto Rico all in 1 week. I had 4 trips going on in 1 week.
So let me ask you this though, because I felt like with me, I get tired of entertaining sometimes, and when you're there, you gotta kind of entertain. You know what I'm saying? You the host. Mm-hmm. You ever get like tired? You ever let them do what they want to do? You just go off?
Literally, everybody has a choice. It's their trip. I set up an itinerary, but I give them, the freedom to actually figure out what they want to do as well. I'm not like a dictator. So what I do is I set up an anonymous voting like pool through the group chat, and we just vote on everything. You know what I mean? And if somebody actually wants to do something that's like outlandish by themselves, I just set it up for them. It's not hard. Like the hardest part is waking them up.
So if you had to start over though from the travel business, what would you do that you learn now? You know what I mean? What would you do better? Because of course you was just charging your fee. Would you charge more starting out? Or
I mean, honestly, you gotta get people to trust you. Like I said, it's just like cutting hair. You gotta start on the crackheads first, and then you gotta start doing the $10 and you get the $20 cuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to get, the clientele. I had to get, the people to trust me. I had to get the word of mouth. Literally, my business is all word of mouth. I dropped a trip. I just got back from Byrd and Canggu, Indonesia, and Bali. Had a group of 14. Literally dropped the trip and sold it out in a week. You know what I mean? I'm about to drop Greece this week. I'm about to drop Thailand this week. I'm about to drop Bali for next year this week. We sold out our ski trip this January, 26 people.
Yeah.
I got Cabos in January, 16 people. I got Cartagena, Colombia in January, 15 people.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna do a couples trip in February for Valentine's Day.
So let me ask you this, bro. Now that you in this position right now, now that you're here right now, does this blow your mind that you're here from where you came from?
Honestly, I would say yes.
Have you even thought about it though?
Yeah. So typically what I've been trying to do on each of my trips, I stay like at least, 2 or 3 days after. Yeah. So I can actually sit back, relax, create some content, but also actually just be there by myself and like absorb the area that I'm in. Because like when I'm on the trips, like you said, it's work. I have like people that have jobs. Like one of my homeboys, Justin, he's I try to make him the host, the fun one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm more reserved. I'm really quiet.
Sure.
But when I have to be, lit and so forth, I am. Because I have people following me because, like, they're there. They've never been. A lot of people that go on these trips, like my last trip, there were 6 people never left the country, but they just went to Bali with me.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's tough, though.
You know what I mean? So, like, they're literally asking me the craziest questions. Like, how you cut on this stove? Like, anytime, there's money involved, they're looking at me like, is this the right amount? You know what I mean? Because they're trusting me. They're making sure they don't get ripped off. And that's something that I hold dear to my heart. Because, you're literally trusting me. This last trip was $55,000.
Yeah. And I like what you said, like, it wasn't on camera, but earlier you was like, man, I'd rather spend $350 on Bali than $350 on a bottle, you feel me?
Yeah.
And like a lot of people will go to the club and spend racks for no reason. You know what I'm saying? That's not I don't feel like that's what we should be doing. There's a lot to experience in this world, man. But if you today, right, you could talk to your younger self, or you could talk to a younger kid that wants to be like you, that's in your position though, like homeless or whatever. What would you say to that kid, man?
I mean, honestly, the easiest thing is really just get some money. Like,
Get some money?
I'm not gonna lie, this is the easiest part. Like, literally, like, yo, like, once you start getting some money and doing it the right way, and you figure out how to get some money, you're gonna feel a little different about yourself, like, in every situation. But you have to have that hustler mentality, because if you don't, nobody can make it for you. So that's why I would say get some money so you can get that hustling. Because once you start getting it, it's like addictive. Like, you just got to keep getting it. And now you figure out, okay, like, I want to do this. You know what I mean? I want to do that. I want to get a car. How do I get somebody else to pay for my car? How do I get a home and get somebody else to pay for my home? How do I go on this trip and get somebody else to pay for my trip? Everything in life's a hustle. You go in, you get a job at a Fortune 500 company. Like, they're expecting you to produce. You know what I mean? It's a grind. It's a hustle. And you got to work with teams. You got to collaborate. You got to sit there and talk to people. And you got to get them to believe in you. And you got to, do what you got to do.
That's a fact, though.
So it's all stemming. Everything in life is about money. But what I'm going to say is, don't let it run you. Like, right now, I had a job offer for almost like 175.
Yeah.
2 of them last week. And I turned them down. Because I'm at the point now where I'm trying to stray away from just chasing money, but actually chasing happiness. You know what I mean?
That's,
like, a lot of men don't get the opportunity to actually be happy. We have to actually, like, be able to provide for our family. We have to get money.
A fact.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, like, do you have the roof over our heads? Are you getting money to pay for the bills? Do you have money to pay for the food? You know what I mean? As a man, that's what you have to do. As a woman, it's different. You know what I mean? So as my younger self, I always say, like, figure out a way to get some money. But figure out the best way to get some money.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you figured out a way to get some money, but
Yeah.
that's crazy, bro. Like, in your situation, I don't know how I would think in this situation, because it's hard. Like, mental health, is a big thing, and that can be traumatized. You know what I'm saying? So, do you ever kind of go back to the moment, and does that help you, like, drive you today, or do you not even think about it anymore?
No, honestly, that's my biggest driving factor. Like, literally going back and thinking, like, like, everything can get taken from you in life, like that. You know what I mean? Like, when I got locked up, like my second time at Coastal, I almost lost my scholarship.
Dang.
I couldn't work all summer.
Yeah.
This was before I was cutting hair. Like, literally, I had to figure out, am I going to pay rent? Am I going to pay my car payment? You know what I mean? So, literally, like, my biggest driving factor is those times where I didn't have shit, where I was washing dishes at Red Lobster. You know what I mean? How I was down and out working in the plant. You know what I mean?
Everything.
I was 17. When I was 17, working 12-hour shifts.
Yeah.
So, like, literally, it's just like, I know I don't want to ever get to that point, and I don't want my family to ever be in that point. You know what I mean? Everybody around me, friends, family, associates, like, I'm just really just trying to aim to inspire. That's really it. So, if anybody asks me, I keep it real with them. Like, like, I didn't come from shit, and the reason why I am the way I am, and people are like, oh, like, he's money driven. I'm not. I am to a certain extent, but it's just like, I'm making sure I'm good, because shit can get taken away from me.
That's a fact.
If you want to go back to saying what I would tell myself differently, like, I would definitely say, ensure that you're not getting influenced by bad influences. You know what I mean? Because
So you don't think those helped you, though?
not the horrible influences, the ones that had me selling and doing other shit.
Oh, okay.
Nah.
Gotcha.
But the other ones, the traits that came with that, the hustle behind it,
Yeah.
But you got to understand, like, you go outside and you tell somebody your dreams, they're going to tell you you're not going to be able to make it simply off the simple fact that they couldn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That goes back to, like, when I was in middle school, one of my teachers told me I probably never graduated.
I was just about to get to that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And literally, like, thinking back, she had every right in her mind to say that, because I was influenced by those around me and making poor ass decisions.
So you was kind of showing her that you really.
I wasn't gonna be shit. I was gonna end up dying before 21. You know what I mean? I was gonna end up in jail before 21.
So can I ask you though, did she ever show up when you sent the invitation?
No, I sent it to the school. So I definitely sent it to the school.
Yeah.
Nice letterhead, all that shit. Respectfully requesting her, like, like, I'm graduating with an applied physics and engineering science degree, minor in mathematics from Coastal Carolina, the first African American to do so.
That's tough.
You know what I mean?
That's tough.
Nah, she ain't come.
You see, I see that confidence. He's popping his. A lot of people don't pop their. I don't want to curse. A lot of people don't pop their stuff. But you see this man. The confidence is crazy. But yeah, go ahead, bro.
But yeah, so literally it was just like, it was never to prove her wrong, but that was something that always in the back of my mind. You know what I mean? Like, my biggest attribute in this life is probably like, like, somebody telling me I can't do some shit and me going to show you that I can. You know what I mean?
So when they say you can't, that's kind of like your biggest driver.
Yeah. And like I said, what I would go back to, like I said, being influenced. Like, take everything that somebody tells you with a grain of salt, but understand the reason why they're saying you can't become successful is because they can't or they didn't. You know how many old people are envious of the life that we live now because we're doing so much more than they ever did. You know what I mean? I got people right now I'm planning a trip where it's 40 plus, never had a passport.
For real?
Yeah.
40, dang. Mm-hmm. But listen, bro, this dude is 28. You want
28. Yeah.
28. 28-year-old. That's why I like seeing the younger generation come up faster, bro. It's inspiring for real. But there's a lot of stuff that I want to say people don't have access to, right? Mm-hmm. And you didn't have the access at one point. So your younger self, right? Would you now what you know? Would you still go into the military, or would you?
Most definitely,
because you know all this real estate.
I literally wouldn't. I would have came earlier, quicker. I wouldn't even have went to USC.
Oh, for real?
Nah, there was no reason. Like literally, the military allowed me to skip and lap everybody. Like people don't understand becoming an officer in the United States military. It's crazy. Like especially African American, the accolades behind it, that letterhead on your resume. Mm-hmm. I'm getting job offers and I'm not even having interviews. Literally.
For real?
Yes. I'm getting job offers. I'm not even having interviews right now. Like it's crazy. So literally I would tell anybody, even you right now, like you making a little bag in Colombia, bro, go into the United States Navy for 4 years. 4 years. You'll get out by 32, but guess what? By 32, you're gonna have 3 properties. You're gonna have your Roth is gonna be crazy. Your TSP, all that. Yeah. And now, you got a top secret clearance, SEI.
That goes a long way, too, bro.
People understand that. Yeah,
that goes a long way, for sure.
And then, literally, on letterhead, I was in charge as a project manager, in charge of 450 individuals. My second year in the military. So I'm already at corporate America. Yeah, I'm in like a tier 3 or 4 position.
All right, so let me touch on this, though. I want to touch on this before we got to get out of here. I know you got to go. So I think it was I don't remember the age, but it was in your 20s, and your mom was in Section 8 housing. Mm-hmm. And I remember you saying, man, I want to get out of Section 8 housing. So when you're in the middle of doing real estate in the military and all this, how did you even make that happen? How'd you go about?
That was literally the first thing I did.
Oh, for real?
No cap.
You even have any houses?
I didn't even have shit. Literally, before I even got into the military, as soon as I got in.
Yeah.
As soon as I got in, I put her in the condo in Myrtle Beach. Literally.
Yeah.
That was my first check.
That's tough.
Yeah, that was the first thing I did. I took her and my little brother out of Section 8, and I put them in the condo, literally a mile from the beach.
That's tough, bro.
Yeah, that was the first thing I did.
But
brand new furniture, all that. Yeah, that was the first thing I did.
That's tough, bro. Was that always what you want to do? It's like, man, this is the first thing I'm gonna do, or was it like, man, your mom was struggling at a point, you was like, man, I gotta do this. You know what I'm saying? Or is it?
I mean, it was always in the back of my mind. Like a lot of people, you can go out, you can buy Gucci, Louis, you can buy some bullshit ass car, but the real flex is taking care of your people. You know what I mean? Yeah. Literally, I made sure they were good before I was. Mm-hmm. I got them a property before I got myself one. Literally, I got into the military and I had nowhere to go whenever I was back on leave and stuff. But I made sure that they were straight.
All right, we got to wrap this up. But check this out. Last question. Well, last 2 questions, right? Do you feel like it's harder? I know I asked you this earlier, but do you feel like it's harder for nobody to believe in you or for everybody to believe you or somebody to believe you?
I mean, it could go both ways. It depends on the individual. You know what I mean? Because there's some people that, that crack under pressure that have everybody that believes them because it's too much pressure. You know what I mean?
It's a fact.
But then you have those that, fail because nobody actually does believe in them. Like me personally, I feel like it's the best thing in the world for somebody, like I said, to tell me something I can't do. You know what I mean? Because that's my motivating factor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now that I have those people in my corner, I have those mentors, I have those point of contacts that I can reach out to. Really, I'm not gonna lie to you. Before I make any decision now, I'm calling about 2 or 3 people that are millionaires that are my mentors because I'm just like, I don't want to make the same mistake they made.
So would you say everybody should get a mentor?
You need one.
You need a mentor?
You need one.
Yeah.
You need one. It's huge, especially for us. You need to make sure if you're successful, you're doing this, this computer science shit, you need to be going back to high schools and talking to them kids. Because I do.
All right, so last 2 questions. At the beginning of this interview, I asked you, what was your dream when you were a little kid? What's your dream now?
Honestly, to work 3 days, make at least $250. Make sure my wife only has to work 3 days. making every sporting event, every cheerleading event, making sure I'm like part of, the student council or whatever for my kids. Like I just want to be there for my family. That's it. And not have to work my entire life and work, but only work 3 days and make that amount of money.
But you don't have to.
Don't have to.
You don't have to.
Literally, having a trip quarterly, every major holiday, every 3 months.
Yeah.
Taking my family somewhere crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I want my newborns to have pictures in Egypt, in Cairo and stuff like that. Yeah, in the Maldives. So yeah, just taking care of my family. That's it. That's my dream. Like, money isn't my motivating factor no more. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have a boat. I'm gonna have a nice crib. I can have a multi-million-dollar crib right now. Like, literally, I already got approved for it. But the thing is, it's not something I'm interested in. I'm interested in literally just having a very relaxing life and being able to provide. Have the ease of access to leave whenever I want to, but also just be a good father, and husband. And really, that's it.
So I heard this question from this is the last question though. What's your 5-year goal? Because, it's a lot of stuff you want to do. I don't know if you can make it happen in 5 years. Maybe you can. What's your 5-year goal? So if you look at this 5 years from now, you'd be like, dang, I actually did what I said. You feel me? Yeah.
So definitely 5 years. I would say be married. I would say, have my forever home. Yeah. I would say, have 1 or 2 kids. Those are my family goals. Yeah. Lifestyle, like I said, be able to, literally do whatever I want. Season tickets. I already have season tickets now. I'm about to leave for the game right now. And
yeah.
Like, who would have thought? Like, that's my first NFL game was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So season tickets, football, basketball. Mm-hmm. I would say at least every year have another property. So I want to get, a portfolio of properties. And honestly, if I'm not going to lie to you, I actually want to move out of the United States.
For real?
Yeah, I want to live somewhere else probably every 6 months. So I would say have a property in Bali, have a property in Cartagena,
That's tough.
Have a property in Greece, and then just shuffle it around. Whenever I'm not there, it's Airbnb. And when I'm not home here, it's Airbnb here. And literally, have my children learning Greek, learning Farsi, learning Spanish. Yeah. You know what I mean? And being able to live in different countries, but not off the military's dime, but off of us actually being able to fucking have different properties in other countries. So I would say multiple properties in the next 5 years, family, and if it was a real goal, I say I want to go to the moon. You know how they have
the moon, guys.
Yeah. You know how they
expect that.
Yeah, in Dubai, they're sending shuttles up. I think it's 1.5 million a person. So I think if there was really a goal, I would love to go out of space.
That's tough.
So that's my next big.
And okay, this is the side. You work for NASA, right?
Yeah, so I was, yeah. Oh, so I work for National Security Agency, NASA. I work with the FBI, CIA, DIA. I have different offices in different places.
All right, cool. All right, wrapping this up, man. I just want to give you your flowers right here. You that I know you don't need this confidence, but you that nigga, bro. You feel me? Keep going, keep doing your thing, bro. I'm proud of you, even though it don't mean much. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm proud of you, though, bro. Black man doing his thing, 28. That's tough. It's not a lot of black people doing that. You got anything you want to say to people before you leave? You want to drop your social media? You straight?
No, they good. They can follow me at Hoven, JOVENN ___. Look at my travel page, Bird's Eye Experiences. Literally just hit me up. You have any questions? You trying to become, something? You need a little bit of, mentorship? Just hit me up. I'm not too good to help anybody out. And that's literally something I enjoy doing.
That's a fact. All right, bro. We out. Appreciate y'all. Comment, subscribe, all that. We out, man.
But I'm still a big stepper. We was stranded at the bottom, niggas wouldn't help us. Taught a lot of niggas how to fish, it wouldn't tell you. Too much pride taking place, these niggas acting jealous. I be speaking from the heart, this my real emotions. I know she angry, I can't leak cause I have emotion. The way we living now, you can tell.